15 in 9. They're probably two of the most efficient guys for their team right now. If I'm Adelaide, I'm putting Geordie Hunter. Montrez is now starting. If I'm Adelaide, I'm putting Geordie Hunter in every single pick and roll. I'm attacking him and I'm trying to get him that first early foul.
But Jordan Hunter is an interesting one. What have you made of his early start?
He's been terrific. He's been the most consistent one by far. And again, I talk about this is why their starting lineup might need to change, because he's an impact guy without needing the ball in his hands. He just does the dirty work. He's super reliable. That's what Angus Glover could bring. He started the season slow, but he doesn't need the ball in his hands to be impactful. That's what I like. But Geordie Hunter, they couldn't have asked for a better start from him.
It's funny, isn't it? Because he's such a big signing, but because we're constantly talking about Sobey, we're constantly talking about Derek Walton Jr., that actually Hunter has almost gone under the radar.
If they were winning, we'd be talking a lot more about him, that's for sure, because he's been very good.
Your key battle for tonight?
Point guard battle for me. Derek Walton Jr., Kendrick Davis, everything that was spoken about this week with Kendrick Davis going at Olgun, which I love. I'm here for all that. I love
people
that
who haven't tuned in for that, give us a little bit of a...
Olgun just put out his opinion and thoughts on asking the question about what's going on with Kendrick Davis. Is it conducive to winning on both ends? Which a lot of people, if you look at the first two games, you could potentially come up with the same question. I think I've asked that question as well. And Kendrick Davis clapped back and said, I'm going to revisit this in a few months, which, let's be honest, we're going to revisit this either way, one way or another, sooner rather than later. So interested to see what happens. But Derek Walton Jr., I mean, as someone who had him as my pre-season MVP, 2 points ain't going to cut it. You've got to lead from the front, and I'm expecting these two to go head-to-head. They're two fantastic point guards, and if there's some ISO one-on-one plays, there's going to be some highlights.
Kendrick Davis, what have you made of the everything? Off-court, on-court, he's getting involved.
He is. He's a personality. I like it. He's coming to this league. He's new to this league, and he's trying to get involved and get his talking to do it. But, you know, he's averaging 12 and 8, and they're pretty good numbers, but the team's not winning, so someone's going to go at you.
Your bold prediction for tonight? No pressure on debut?
Look, my bold prediction is DJ's just going to exploit the Phoenix. He's been great at the start of the season. He's averaging 23.5 points per game. He's second leading scorer in the league. He's efficient. He's shooting the three ball at 53%. I'd like to see him get other teammates a little bit more involved with his assists. I think he can add that to his game, but I think he's really going to have a great game tonight.
Horse?
Both teams are going to put up 100 plus. Defence is somewhere on Hindley Street because it's not going to be here in this game. Both teams are going to really get up and down the floor, and I think there's going to be an offensive shootout, and there's going to be a little jitters, and I think there's going to be a lot of points on display.
If that's the case, we're in for a few interesting timeouts listening to the coaches, I feel like.
So we might get our first or second stand-up timeout because there's going to be a big spray. Someone's going to have to play defence. I just don't think it's going to be tonight.
Defence. We want to see a bit better defence, don't we?
We do.
100-point plus.
Defence wins championships. Come on, we know that. That's what Bickerman would have told you.
Have you seen these two teams?
Harrell?
Have you seen the first two rounds of these two teams? That's what I'm nervous about.
I know.
Whichever one wants to play might actually win the game.
Well, who can score the most, honestly?
We'll keep an eye on it throughout the game. Lee Montagna to join you live. John Casey, Pete Hooley and Alice Koenig with our live coverage. Thursday Night Hoops. It's the Phoenix against the 36ers looking for their first win.
Come on, come on, come on. KD, too cool. You're too cool right now, bro. Showtime.
That's what we've been waiting on. Montrezl Harrell just bullies his way inside. Get that up out of here. Harrell says not today. Here's Harrell again. And again. He's owning this second term.
Too big, too strong.
One on the three. One on the three. Harrell wants it and delivers.
Come on.
Montrezl Harrell is having himself a party.
Yeah!
Well, it may only be round 3, but the heat is already being turned up on these two teams who came into the season with big expectations, it must be said, but they are still searching for their first win. A big hello and welcome to the Hungry Jacks NBL25. It is the Adelaide 36ers at home in front of their loyal fans for the first time this season. They will be hosting the South East Melbourne Phoenix. Both teams looking for their first win. We can't wait for this one. Lee Montagna calling this evening. My co-callers, I welcome in Pete Hooley, Alice Koenig. Well done off the top, guys. But Pete, it's going to be exciting. And Alice, we take a look at the Mitsubishi Motors ladder. It's amazing to think that these two teams, all eyes go to the bottom.
Look, all eyes are at the bottom, Lee, and pressure is really mounting on both of these teams and both of these coaches that, you know, someone's got to walk out here with their first win, and we're looking forward to it tonight.
So Adelaide are at home, Pete. Coach Mike Wells, you've been pretty impressed with how he's gone despite not getting a win early?
Yeah, again, I think that he's going to be a fantastic coach in this league. And again, look at that. He started NBL25 back-to-back losses, average of 6 points. If you actually break down each loss, they lost to a championship favourite probably in the Sydney Kings in opening round. And then I've always gone on record to say Cairns is the toughest road trip in this league. So they got beaten by a better Cairns on that night, but they've got to bounce back and get a win on the board.
Well, let's be honest, Alice, all eyes have come to see this man, Montrezl Harrell, the former NBA star, and he's made a splash early this season. You think it can continue tonight?
It can. I'm so glad they've put him back into the starting lineup. He's averaging 16 and 9. He's plus 23 on the plus minus. He brings that energy to the Adelaide 36ers. I think the crowd is absolutely going to love him tonight. We can see how he can get upstairs, the passion, the energy. Hopefully they can play some defense with him in the starting lineup, Lee.
Interesting to see what minutes he plays too, Pete. He's just sort of played the 21, 22 minutes. Do you expect to see him get a little bit more the more he plays?
Yeah, I do. But again, I thought you talk about coming in the starting lineup, Alice. He's coming in for Lat Mayen, and John Casey can confirm that. But I thought that Harrell and Humphries would play a lot together. We haven't seen it in the first 2 rounds, but they're going against a pretty depleted big man lineup with the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, and maybe that's where Mike Wells sees an advantage.
What about his opposing coach, Alice, Mike Kelly? Do you think he'd be feeling the pressure early this season? They've come in with big expectations. I know it's a new, pretty much a full new roster, so he's still trying to work it out, but they must get a win soon.
They do, and no coach wants to start the season at 0-4, and we know they had their struggles last year, Lee, in the season, and they went back. They wanted to really revamp the team and change things around, Lee, but, you know, no coach wants to start in 0-4, and I know that he's desperate to get that first win.
Yeah, he would be, for sure, and he wants his superstars to fire. And again, all season, I mean, for the last 2 weeks, it's been all about Nathan Sobey. And to be honest, I said in the pre-game, putting the 0-3 record and putting all the issues that have happened on the floor and what we've seen things not clicking on Nathan Sobey's shoulders alone is completely unfair and unwarranted. The reason they are 0-3 is not because of Nathan Sobey. It is because there's no role clarity so far. They're still trying to figure out their identity. And with all the talk of should he come off the bench, I keep going on record to say it's more about getting a guy like Angus Glover who can be their point of attack defender and doesn't need the ball to impact in that starting lineup, and then free up Sobey against the second unit, or if that's what they choose. And they're going to roll out the same one, and we'll see what Sobey we get here.
Well, it's always a pleasure to have this man courtside, and it wouldn't be an Adelaide 36ers game without him, to be honest. Welcome in, John Casey.
Good on you, Joey. Great to be with you here. 9,000 plus in the house again tonight. Adelaide heading for another sellout here, but they want to see a win. These teams are quality outfits. Both have great players, but just need to put it together and try and find a way to get the result here. And the Adelaide 36ers coach, Mike Wells, has pulled the trigger. He's changing the starting lineup, and you just couldn't ignore the numbers that Montrezl Harrell has been putting up. He had to be moved into the starting 5. Top 5 in the league in rebounding and block shots. He comes in, Lat Mayen goes to the bench. We see Humphries and Harrell going in tandem here. Kendrick Davis, 8 assists a game, second in the competition, so he's doing his job as well. And DJ Vasiljevic on a 7-game streak of 20 plus. So they've got great credentials. And for the Phoenix, well, it's happy birthday to the Phoenix. It was 5 years ago today that they played their first ever NBL game. They beat Melbourne by 3. In fact, they won their first 3 games. But they've got 2 players in the top 10 in rebounding, 2 players in the top 10 in assists as well. They've got a quality lineup, but I like Mike Wells' thinking here, going big and hoping that they can undermine Geordie Hunter and the perceived lack of depth of the big man role for the Phoenix.
Thank you, Case. We'll come to you throughout the game. Yeah, looking forward to this one. All eyes to kick off round 3, Thursday night basketball, Adelaide Entertainment Centre. As we said, almost a full house again. Pete, doesn't matter where they are on the ladder, doesn't matter the situation. The fans in Adelaide just continue to show up.
Well, they do. They're passionate. They want to see a win. They want to see this team back in the finals come season's end. But I like this change in the starting lineup because there's been some questions about what happens when Geordie Hunter goes off the floor in general. Now both Matt Hurd and Geordie Hunter are going to have to hold down the fort against Harrell, who's been a beast, but also against Isaac Humphries, who's got a point to prove.
Alex, if you want to see someone cooking early for the 36ers, who do you want to see fire? Because they've got options everywhere. Is it DJ? Is it this man, Kendrick Davis? Who do you want to see get the ball and start Adelaide in the first quarter going well?
I've got a lot of love for Isaac Humphries. I want to see him come in, and I want to see him really put his stamp his authority on this game here tonight. Run the floor, do the simple things. set good screens, and I want his team to reward him. He's doing such great work for this team. He sets screens, he runs the floor, he rebounds. Reward the guy. Let the guy finish those easy 2-point shots.
So 36 will start. We're going to get a re-jump.
So Geordie Hunter with a little pump fake.
And we'll get this one underway. We'll get to you in a minute, Pete, about Matt Hurt. We haven't even spoke about him and the impact he's had at South East Melbourne as the 36ers win the tip. Crowd looking forward to this one, so are we. Sunday Detch. Vasilovic, his second leading scorer in the competition so far. He's been shooting the ball beautifully, and that's a nice start.
I love that because, again, I think the Phoenix, every NBL fan would have thought the ball was going to go to Isaac Humphries with all the talk this week, or Kendrick Davis. DJ comes off a ball screen and says, I've got some space, I'll knock it down.
There's the superstar at the other end. Shoot. Oh, that's a bad attempt from Wieskamp. He's been pretty good from long range as well. It's a little bit shaky start. Adelaide looking confident. Here is Harold. Great defense from Wieskamp and can turn it straight into offense. He attacks. Goes to the basket, couldn't finish.
That's a great take by Wieskamp and great defense on the other end. But what I've loved about Wieskamp and Hurt, they've been serviceable guys for South East Melbourne. They go a little bit underrated and under the radar because of so much talk is on Derek Walton Jr. and Nathan Sobey. But they've been putting up great numbers. They've been serviceable guys, and it's great to see him start the game strong.
We need more from Wieskamp because, again, he showed in a couple of glimpses in pre-season, he's a lights-out shooter with his feet set. That first one way off the mark, but getting to the free throw line the next possession lets you see one go through the hoop and hopefully get his confidence going. But what he was doing on the defensive end, and that right there is just covering up some piercings. I think he's got away with playing with some piercings the first couple of games. And he gets a simple rebound and the crowd erupts. That's the Montrez effect.
As we see, Wieskamp missed that free throw. 12.6% of the points from South East Melbourne come from the free throw line, so they need to get to the free throw line more.
That's a good point, Alice, as they this time go to Humphries, and that'll do his confidence the world of good.
That's the rewarding that we're talking about. You don't have to just throw it into him on the block. They did that in Cairns. They threw the ball in the low post and said, hey, you wanted the ball? Take it. It's more if there's a pick and pop, if there's a pick and roll and he's open, get him the rock in his positions. That's a great start from Adelaide.
He's Hurt now, trying his luck. Opportunity here for the 36ers. You like this look, Pete? Forced away from the basket. It was good defense from Hurt. And now Sobey always looks to be so aggressive. He was, but again, there's the defense. We heard Mike Wells pre-game talk about Humphries' impact on the defensive end. Can turn that into some offense, as he does on this occasion. Good find from DJ.
That's what we love to see from Isaac Humphries. He's doing the little things. He set a screen. DJ had his head up early. He was able to just give him that nice little pocket pass. Isaac able to finish strong.
Positive start for the 36ers. Phoenix just still looking to find their groove. Walton finds Hurt. Again, no luck.
It's going to be a foul on Humphries anytime you try and box out face front. That's what's going to happen here. Is the Amy replay again. Good move to the dunker spot from Isaac Humphries. Well rewarded from Vasilovic. And then right here, just a little crossover between the legs and gets underneath the charge circle and he's gone up and finished. That's the reward he's needed. But defensively, that's not a good start for the South East Melbourne Phoenix.
It's good leadership, though, by Vasilovic, isn't it? He's gone out of his way to find Humphries, get him involved. He knows how important he was to Adelaide last season. There's Derek Walton again, can't get it to fall. So, rough start. He tries his luck again. They're 0 from 6 from the field.
They are, and they're second in the league in points in the paint. So that's where you've got to get some leadership and say, hey, we've got to get the ball inside. We've got serviceable guys in Geordie Hunter and Matt Hurt. We've got to stop looking at that outside shot and get inside.
Tried the fadeaway.
Going back to DJ and that point of him finding Isaac as Hurt takes another three. Lucky to see that one go down. That's the evolution of DJ's game. You know, we know he's such a good scorer, he's such a good shooter, but to get others involved, that's the elevation of him, and that's what's going to take him to the next level as a boomer and as a player in this league.
There's Davis this time. easily getting into the key.
It's way too easy. There's no resistance from the perimeter guards. Good pass.
It's Hunter. The touch on has been probably the best for the Phoenix so far. Throws that one down. And now they can settle into the contest. Davis, good find. Detch. Able to finish. And Sobey wants to push it. So this time, Wieskamp. Hasn't found his radar so far.
They're going to live and die by the three-point line tonight. Time to get the ball in the paint.
Oh, 1 from 6 from beyond the arc as Vasiljevic pulls it out. And Harrell again finds Humphries, and he's got 6 early points.
Big to big, and this is what I expected to see. When they signed Montrezl Harrell, I thought he was going to be slotting straight into the starting power forward, but no, Jarrell Martin. They finally get to be on the court together, and they've already got a little bit of a connection. What a pass that was.
And another dunk there from Wieskamp this time.
Bolton Jr. is one of the best passers in the league, make no mistake about it. He sees the floor, sees the possession unfold before it occurs.
The points are starting to flow now as again Davis able to get to his spot pretty easily. He's had his troubles early this season, his field goal percentage, but he's pretty confident in his own ability, but he was outworked and didn't have the height advantage in that situation. We get our first time out. Take a look at some of the highlights, Pete, and after a bit of a shaky start, they started to get their groove, South East Melbourne.
Well, that was for Geordie Hunter, but in the end it fell to Joe Wieskamp, who is sneaky athletic, but they did find it again. They found it through great guard play from Derek Bolton Jr. I would have gone back to him. They found the mismatch here, and quick tangerine timeout.
Well, John Casey pre-game caught up with the man everyone's come to see, Montrezl Harrell.
You dunk with authority. When you're up there, it's almost as if you're taking it out on the rim. Is your ambition to pull the whole thing down at some stage?
In a lot of ways it is, man. That's just the only way I play, man. That's the only way I've been able to, you know, make the net in this game and actually make a statement in this game, man. And it's, you know, the only way I know how to play with a lot of passion and a lot of heart and a lot of aggression. And that's the same way I'm going to continue to play to this day.
He certainly brought some energy to NBL25 to start this season. What's the take, Pete? I was reading today, Jarrell Martin, they think he's a chance to even play October 20, which is less than 3 weeks away. What do you think the situation will be there in Adelaide?
Aren't you obviously going to be ready to play? Might be ready to do a bit more activity on the floor, but maybe they have to make a call roster-wise. It would shock me that if it's not an NBA team that pulls Montrezl Harrell out, if they part ways with him, based on what we've seen the first 2 weeks. And speaking to people at the club, they can keep him here the entire season. They'll do everything they can to do that, and you can understand why.
He comes off, takes his first little breather. Jason Kadee checks into the game, the veteran. And Lat Mayan also, who's coming off the bench tonight, is Vasiljevic. Good defense, good hands from Sobey. The 2 Australian stars in each other's face, and Vasiljevic wins out.
If you're Nathan Sobey, you can't let that worry you, because you could not have played that any better defensively. Up and in, probably cost an elbow to the face. That's just better offense in the end.
Angus Glover checks in for South East Melbourne. Now Derek Walton looks to get to work, puts the head down, and then a good find again. As you spoke about, Pete, that's what he does so well.
That's a great cut by Hurt to just slice, and you've got Derek Bolton Jr. slicing and dicing, and he just cuts in, gets an easy 2 there.
I think I said, Joey, he's one of the best. He is the best passer in the NBL.
Glover just got the hand in, forced Humphries to kick it out. Now Vasiljevic draws the foul. Geordie Hunter's not happy with himself.
He's not happy because he's got those little ticky-tack fouls is what he can't afford to do when they don't go too deep in the big man department. We haven't seen a lot of Majuk, their backup centre. Geordie Hunter knows that he can't afford to do that when they're going to continue to throw it in to Humphries and Harrell.
He's coming off back-to-back 20-plus point games. DJ Vasiljevic, 24 the other night against Cairns in that loss. In fact, 7 straight games he's got 20-plus, Pete, which is the longest active streak of any player in the NBL.
Yeah, he's been very good ever since touching down in Adelaide. And again, you know that he's going to get his shots, but he's playing with a different level of confidence, and also he's an ultra competitor. They've lost 2 games. He'd take a lot of that personally, and he wants to lift them over the line in front of the home fans.
Averaging 23.5 points this season. He's got 7 so far. Perfect. 100% from the field. There's Walton again. Malik Lewis, the next star, is in the game. As Walton hasn't been able to get it to fall, and Lewis has a couple of efforts. Good hustle play.
And that's what Malik Lewis is going to have to do when he comes in this game and just get those cheap, easy 2 points, get the offensive rebound, get a stop, get a defensive board and run the break in transition. That's just going to ignite his confidence for him.
Yeah, he's a glue guy. He does all those little things. 3-and-D player, and he's continuing to grow in that role. And right now, other than Matt Hurt, we've got a whole bench unit on for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. I wasn't sure we were going to see too many minutes of this Lat Mayen with the putback. I think we'd see too many minutes with both Walton Jr. and Sobey sitting down. I thought those minutes would be staggered, but here they are, both the star guards sitting down. We're going to roll the bench unit.
It's only Matt Hurt started for Southeast Phoenix. He's Foxwell, Glover, Vodanovic, and Lewis all in there, and they turn this one over. Chance for DJ. He just wants to step back. He draws the foul.
That was going up from the moment he woke up this morning. You could tell when he was drilling up the court, he saw Matt Hurt in front. He's hit a couple. He's got to the free throw line. He was always going to pull up for 3 of that.
It's a 53% shooter. Of course he was.
He knew he was just going to have a little bit of space created, and he was either going to knock it down or get fouled. Just there on the wrist, just checking. You don't want to send knockdown shooters to the line because, DJ, that was your bold prediction, Alice, and you're off to a flyer in the first 7 minutes.
We love when a bold prediction goes right, but you know, we spoke about how good DJ's been, and you know, he's averaging 23 and second in the league, and unfortunately he misses that one. But as a player, to see the ball go down in a possession like this, it just gives you that world of confidence to just keep moving forward. And I questioned him. I want to see him get more assists, and he has, and I love that from DJ.
And I promise not to bring up the fact that saying it's the second leading scorer in the league would go off is not bold, but I think it's great. I think it's a great one.
Come on, Pete.
No, she's nailed it so far. He
comes up with 9 points.
I want to see the next 50 piece in the NBL. We talk about it every season.
Clearly a hold there. Lat Mayen on Vodanovic.
It's a great start from Adelaide. They're rotating through as well. Kendrick Davis back into the game. Montrezl Harrell back into the game. Lat Mayen, I know he's started on the bench. Hasn't done a whole lot wrong. He's been terrific in the first 2 games. A local product, back home in front of friends and family.
Foxwell getting some more minutes. Lewis had Harrell in his way. It's a couple of good defensive possessions from the 36ers.
Mike Wells will be really happy with that. He really questioned his team in the break, and he said, we need to play defense, and the only way we're going to win this game is if we play lockdown defense. Great possession there.
There's Davis, just goes baseline and blows past Lewis.
Where's the help side defense? That's why we're going to get a timeout here from Mike Kelly. Firstly, it's just a straight blow-by, which can't happen, but if that does happen all the time in half-court hoops. So you watch this, Malik Lewis, who's thinking the ball screen was coming, and then Kendrick Davis puts the Jets on, and where's Owen Foxwell? You've got to be on the split line.
Yeah, Malik just falls asleep for that little split second, and a player like Kendrick Davis, who is so quick, he's lightning quick, he's just seeing his footwork shift, he sees him fall asleep a little bit on the defensive end, and he just attacks the rim.
There's the Tangerine timeout. Going to the Adelaide 36ers huddle. Coach Mike Wells will be pleased with what he's seen in this first quarter. As we said, they had that loss to the Sydney Kings, and then a 4-point loss to Cairns. And this was the tweet, Pete, that has just got people talking, which I really enjoy. There's not too much in it, but Olgun had a little opinion that is his style conducive to winning in the NBL, and he said, well, let's come back and revisit this in a few months, and I like it. He's backed himself in, and he's got a fair point. There's still plenty of the season to play out.
There is, but again, I've been following this the whole week, and I love it too, but I don't know if he follows Olgun. How did he find it?
What are you implying?
No,
he went searching. He went searching.
Well, no,
I
have seen he's got a lot of fans, and a lot of fans like to tag him in some of the things on social media. But as he said, we're going to revisit it one way or another, and the challenge has been set. And He's got 4 points. He's got 8 assists per game in the first 2 games. And in the end, what I think he's really talking about is we're going to revisit the winning. Don't worry about my individual performances. If we're winning games, that's all I care about.
Yeah, I did see his press conference during the week. He said he felt that he was maybe picked on because he's wearing an Adelaide 36ers singlet and they are 0-2. And if he was playing for a team that were 1-1, 2-0, it wouldn't be an issue. The style of basketball that he's playing. So
that has more to do with the ladder.
That's what he was implying, maybe because they're not winning. There's Foxwell. He's been getting some good minutes to start this season again. The hustle play from Lewis. Sobey with his first real look. They're now 1 of 7, 1 of 8 from long range for Phoenix to start this one. Pregame's on the floor. Gets some early minutes after getting some points in that previous game against Cairns. As now Harrell kicks it out. He wants to take on Vidanovic. He likes the look of the matchup. Step back.
Harrell can knock that down, but he's got an advantage. If he just plants himself in the Mitsubishi Motors logo charge circle, good things will happen, and that's an advantage down the other end.
Harrell with the block.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Wide open Davis. He'll be disappointed he couldn't make that.
Adelaide have really found their offensive productivity and their offensive rhythm, and now it's up to South East Melbourne to really lock in, and as Vidanovic misses that 3, to really get the ball through hands, attack the paint. You guys are 1 of 8 from the 3-point line. You've now got to get the ball inside, get fouls, get to the free throw line, get those cheap, easy points that'll set your defense.
Almost feels like they've been spooked. South East Melbourne, when they have gone into the paint, they've been denied by either Humphries or Harrell. Shot clock down to 3. Davis, oh, with a little spin move and a finish. And he will enjoy that.
That's what he can do.
He just tweeted at Olgun Woolley.
That highlight?
Where you at, Olgun?
That highlight?
Where you at, Olgun? Amir in the building. We love you, Olgun.
Saw Olgun fall to the ground in cold.
6 points, 3 of 5 for Kendrick Davis. Is again, they try and get inside, but Adelaide's defence has been terrific in this first quarter. And again from Harrell, who thought he got all ball. And the foul was called.
I think it was unlucky to get that foul, and I think the whole of Adelaide thought the same thing.
Oh, he's not happy.
I'm also, have another look at this. He is an athlete, and I tell you what. And he had a few things to say after. Now, I'm not a lip reader, but that would probably be more of the, the warning from the first week than it was. Now, we do have a coach challenge. If you do believe it, Montrez, if you can turn around to your coach and beg for it.
Mike Wells would have to be really happy with the defensive productivity and intensity that Adelaide have come out with in this game. You keep a team under 15 points in a 40-minute game of basketball, you're going to go a long way to winning games.
Just 6 of 20 from the field, going at 30%. South East Melbourne, as you mentioned at the top, Alice, they don't get to the free throw line a lot, so an opportunity here for Lewis.
But what's concerned me is when I said that Walton Jr. and Sobey were both sitting down, everybody understands they're probably their main 2 guys. Not one of them have had a chance to get into any sort of rhythm because there was a sub made and the other one sat down, and now you're trying to get them going.
We'll get quarter time without Sobey and Walton not scoring in this opening quarter. It's a quarter that has been well controlled by the 36ers. Last opportunity, and it wouldn't be a quarter without Harrell throwing one down and getting the crowd to their feet. And he is pumped, and he's loving his own work. And that'll close out a terrific quarter for the Adelaide 36ers. At home in front of their fans for the first time this season, they lead by 7.
Simpsons counts as a TV show. Matty Boots, that counts as a TV show. Family Guy. Tom and Jerry, that counts as a TV show.
Giorgio, you got 18 because you said Channel 10 News, Channel 9 News, ABC News, Channel 7 News. So Ben Keys gets the prize back. We'll give you something. Give it up for Giorgio. That's 36 seconds. Let's get into the second quarter.
Well, the highlight of the first quarter came right on the buzzer from Montrezl Harrell. He was doing it at both ends of the floor. He had the 5 rebounds, a block shot, and then this big slam right on quarter time to get the Adelaide 36ers faithful on their feet to give them a game-high 9-point lead at quarter time, 25-16. They were doing it at both ends. Pete Hooley, Alice Kunek. Pretty impressive start by Adelaide.
They were terrific. Again, they got whatever they wanted offensively. 25 points in the first quarter. They're on track for over 100, and they go into Matt Hurd, and he's unlucky to roll out. But the Phoenix, they need to get some points on the board. We'll talk a bit about the substitutions as this game goes on, I'm sure.
What are your concerns? Tell us about Southeast. What have you seen that's worrying you early stage of this one?
Well, again, a lot of people are talking about staggering their star guards more often than not in Sobey and Walton Jr., so you understand whose turn it is to make plays. And when the first sub was made, Nathan Sobey came off. You expect, okay, if Nathan Sobey has, say, the 6-minute mark to the 3-minute mark on the bench in the first quarter, then Walton sits down for a little bit. He put Walton off a minute after that, and neither of them got a chance to get into a rhythm. They're their 2 leading players.
And that's where you've got to get, as another missed shot by Nathan Sobey, you've got to get rhythm as a player. We know, particularly as a shooter, you want to get that rhythm, you want to get that touch, and we can see that they're really just not getting that touch and that rhythm as Marshall knocks down that nice 3. But, 16 points in a quarter of basketball is just not enough.
And again, when you are struggling to score the ball, your defense has to be spot on, and it hasn't been. And Alice, if you want to talk about shooters, you can. I can't. So you are the shooter sitting up here. I'll let you do all that.
Wieskamp forces his way under the bucket, and they trail by 10, but really easy. That is sloppy defensively, and Humphries frustrated. He couldn't make them pay.
That's going to frustrate Mike Kelly more so than anybody else. On a made basket, what happened? How do you fall asleep on a made basket like that when you've got 5 players back behind the ball?
Pools, that's just lack of intensity. That's just lack of caring on the defensive end. And this is where Southeast Melbourne really need to put a line in the sand and say, what are we going to hold our hat on? What are we going to be as a team? Are we going to be an offensive firepower team that just scores and can put up 100 points every game but loses? Or are we going to actually just kind of lock in, play good defense? And that's just effort and that's just intensity right there.
Already the second foul on Geordie Hunter. As Humphries already has 8 points. So he has found his groove. As you can see, the coaches there just trying to figure out how they can get their team back into this contest. Sobey and Walton Jr. still scoreless between them. They're 2 superstar playmakers. Here's Walton this time. Finally gets one to fall.
He's a master in the mid-range. Missed a couple in the first quarter, but he sees a mismatch. He's on an island. He's going to create space and knock it down more often than not.
Now Kendrick Davis at the other end pulls up and knocks it down. He's got 9 points, 4 of 7 shooting.
Just no intent on the defensive end. They're just very passive and reactive, the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. And to be honest, it seems like right now they're all thinking, we're struggling offensively. We've got to worry about locking down defensively. Here's a turnover, offensive foul. That's Geordie Hunter's 3rd. That's where that first foul can't happen. That's why he was upset about it. Here's the Amy replay. I talk about being reactive. That is a training drill. When you've got a double drag screen like that and you're trying to play the drops, you need somebody to either switch in that first screen or you just simply can't play the drops in the second.
Well, Pete, the play just has to go over the screen. Why are you going under a screen on Kendrick Davis, who we know can shoot the 3 ball? Okay, they might be worried that he might get downhill and put pressure on the rim, but you've got to protect the ball first, as Humphries. A bit of a walk there.
I would not be surprised if Mike Wells very soon gets Montrezl Harrell in this game. With Geordie Hunter sitting down, they're playing Matt Hurt at the 5 and Joe Wieskamp at the 4. So you want to go back to the starting unit you had and really try and throw some weight around. That's go back to that first foul from Geordie Hunter. He knew straight away that he shouldn't have done it.
Felt like Humphrey's eyes lit up then. He knows there's no rim protector. He wanted to get to the basket. Just got a bit too carried away as Wieskamp draws the foul.
Wieskamp is known as a three-point shooter, but I like that he's been attacking the rim. He's been cutting off the back of Derek Walton Jr., and I like that he's taken that and he's got himself to the free throw line. Now he's just got to finish.
Missed his first couple from beyond the arc, and it was like he's just trying to make life a little bit easier for himself. They are 1 from 9. South East, there you go, Pete. Montrezl Harrell checks back in.
Didn't think it would take long. Mike Wells, probably one of the assistant coaches, said, hey, they're playing a wing and a power forward in the big man position. We have an advantage. But what they can do, if you're the South East Melbourne Phoenix and you're playing Matt Hurd and Wieskamp big, you've got shooters. Space the floor, get the guard play, and really try and test out the footwork of Harrell and Isaac Humphries.
I think you could be a coach, Pete.
Thought about it.
Yeah, you've got a really good brain.
Have we not been talking about the pressure these two are under?
My
I don't
God.
want that pressure up.
I am. You don't want that.
No, thank you.
There's Davis. He knew he wanted to get it to Humphries, and that is why. Too big.
I don't think Mike Kelly's going to have a choice right now. He's going to have to put Majuk in this game. You need a big body if they're going to continue to exploit that end. But this is where they have the advantage, as I was talking about. Test the feet.
It's just too easy for the Adelaide 36ers. They're getting everything they want in the pick and roll. Kendrick Davis is just pulling up Isaac Humphries or Harrell to set that screen just like here. They're rolling to the rim. They're getting anything that they want, just like exactly like that.
They're not going to get this margin back if they can't get stops. So, yes, you're going to have that advantage down the other end by bringing Humphries and Harrell away from the hoop. You're going to get some stops.
Humphries is loving this. 5 of 6 shooting, 12 points. He's chock full of confidence. And getting on the glass. And they're going to look to push the tempo. It's a game-high 13-point lead. Kadee. A battle between Sobey and Vasiljevic. A little step back and just short. South East Melbourne eat into this margin. Turnover, Glover.
Well, that's probably the one area they don't have an advantage in the post when you've got Harrell and Humphries. And they are just feasting on this smaller lineup.
Phoenix going to have to call a timeout. Tangerine timeout. Far too easy for the big boys for the 36ers. And they lead this one by 15.
Southeast just look a little bit out of sorts. We know that Mike Wells has really tested his team and said, I need you to play better defense. But offensively, they just look out of sorts. Their offensive productivity is super low. They're not getting great looks. They're shooting the 3 ball at 18%. They've got to get the ball inside, but that's when they've got to find that leadership.
Well, let's go and take a listen to Mike Kelly. Find out the message he's got for his group.
Hey, everything's too easy right now. Everything's too easy for them right now. First possession, we're going red. Red on the on ball. Red on the on ball. First possession, all right? Then we'll talk after that. Okay? Offensively with this group right now, let's go. Empty, weave to a shake. Empty, weave to a shake. We're going at subs, okay? Defensively, red. Here we go.
So I think they're going to get after the ball screen here. I think that's what Mike Kelly's having a look at, saying, look, we can't get stops. Great man, it's great to see him courtside. We missed a couple of games last year. Would be an Adelaide game without the legend courtside, but they're going to try and switch some things up. And even if they get scored on a couple of times, what it does, it sends a tone and sets a level of intent, saying we're trying to lift our energy defensively.
Sobey, good find for Vidanovic. We'll get to the strike. Of course, we know what's at stake for these two sides. Touched on the stat earlier, Pete, that if South East Melbourne do lose this and go 0-4, no team in the 40-minute era has made the playoffs. If you go back to 2002, 2003, the Crocs, the last team.
There is a little asterisk to that because there wasn't a play-in tournament back then.
Yeah.
Well, whether you count the play-in tournament or not, but still, it's not a hole you want to get into. And I had Bryce Cotton on NBL Now this week. He's going to be a regular correspondent going forward. It's great to have greatness part of some media, and he was saying what a lot of people understand is these early games are so important because we know how close the NBL season ends up. By the end of it, some way, somehow, if you lose a game that you shouldn't have or you haven't clicked early enough in some aspects, they can come back to bite you.
In particular, games at home. This is a huge game for the Adelaide 36ers. We know the pressure that's on both of these teams as Latmain misses that.
Marshall trying to get after it.
Well, they dodged one there too. That was 2 points for Nick Marshall.
As Walton Jr. just dropped the shoulder and couldn't finish, and they lose possession.
They've won that one back as well. Walton Jr. did all the hard work.
Of course, Adelaide are pleased to be at home for the first time this season. They've won their last 5 at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. We spoke about the crowds always show up and they can produce their best basketball.
It just feels like Adelaide realises the importance of this moment and for this club and this team to get this win at home. And we've seen the intensity they're playing at. And conversely, we need to see South East really rise to that challenge.
Here's Kadee. Vasiljevic, feet sets.
That's the issue, Joey. You're going to get after some ball screens. You want to be a little bit more aggressive. Well, everybody's going to be on the same page and rotate. And, well, Alice, you said that man was in for a big one, and he is.
You can't give a 53% shooter just a wide open look like that. I know they run a bit of a dummy play, a ghost screen, but you've got to play better defense than that.
Yeah, they're going too well at the moment, and there he is now getting to the basket. Points are going to count. Vasiljevic getting the crowd pumped up. He's got himself up to 14 points. Isaac Humphries has 12. It's no surprise these two, their career high averages are against the South East Melbourne Phoenix, and they're doing it again. And they're doing it with ease. As we get down courtside, seems pretty electric down there, John Casey.
Things are really cooking here for Adelaide, and one thing that they've done well this season, despite the fact that they're 0-2, is shoot the 3 ball. 54%. They lead the competition from long range. Last season they shot it at 30% to be bottom of the competition. So they'll be happy with the production they're getting from beyond the perimeter. Also, we saw Kadee go down a little earlier, a couple of play phases ago. He was actually called for a flop warning, and I thought from where I was seeing it looked a little bit like a charge. So a bit harsh on Kadee. 36ers now needs to be a little careful now. They've had one flop warning issued.
20-point margin. That's going to help, as I said, master of the mid-range, but they need stops, and they need stops quickly.
There is Sobey, trying to be aggressive defensively. Crowd want a foul. Ref's going to let them play. There's players diving everywhere, foot violation.
You cannot ask for more from Nathan Sobey in that possession. He hasn't got it going offensively. He's still got 0 points, but he said, you know what? I'm stepping up defensively because we are so flat right now. Look at this. You could probably call a couple of fouls on that, but he said, you know what? Until you blow the whistle, I'm getting up and in and trying to dictate something. I love that.
He's going to stay on the floor. Bogdanovic getting some minutes. Just trying to get something going offensively at the moment. Matt Hurt has 10 points. Back down to you, John Casey.
I spoke to Nathan Sobey pre-game about his foul problems. He's fouled out in his last 2 games as he gets back door here to come up with a finish and his first score of the game. But he fouled out in his last 2 games. He only fouled out twice last season in total, so it's rare for him to be fouling out of a game. I asked him why, and he said it was about bringing that intensity at the defensive end when things aren't going well for your team. So it's actually cost him an early exit twice.
Tangerine timeout. Is that sometimes maybe just trying a bit too hard? New club, you're trying too hard at the defensive end?
I think that's because offensively they haven't clicked and figured it out, so he's trying to set the tone. But also that's more of a reason why they need a point of attack defender in the starting lineup, so he doesn't have to be overzealous defensively.
Well, of course, basketball all weekend, round 3. It's going to be another cracking weekend, and tomorrow it kicks off. The Cairns Taipans hosting the Tassie Jack Jumpers. Both teams are 1-1. Of course, the defending champs, Will Magnay, will be looking to get another win, but it's never easy heading to Cairns. That's going to be a beauty, and then to follow that, well, it's the 2 heavyweights, and we know some of the battles these 2 sides have had in recent years. The Perth Wildcats hosting Melbourne United, who will be without Matthew Dellavedova. He's unavailable to play due to a birth of his child, so we congratulate him. But a couple of cracking games tomorrow night, Alice.
There are a few cracking games tomorrow night, and we're looking forward to it. And I think the big one for me is Perth versus United. You know, United going over to Perth without Daly, that's tough for them. But look, we know what players can step up. We know Shea Ely can step up. Ian Clark, I don't think we've seen the best of CG, so it's going to be a great game of basketball tomorrow night.
I believe 11 of the last 17 since 2021 have been single-digit games.
Wow.
With Perth and Melbourne, last year they had double OT and no T game.
So make sure you tune in tomorrow night, doubleheader. NBL25. So a terrific start to this season. Not so much for these two teams, but it's Adelaide that are just trying to get their groove on, but a turnover and just open the door again for South East Melbourne to peg it back.
And Lee, we heard Mike Kelly in the timeout talking we're going to read the on-ball, and it's good to see that they've got that second line of rotation. So they're trapped in the on-ball, they're trying to get the ball out of the players' hands, but then the next line of rotation's there, and great to see them get that steal.
Hurt, thought about it, pulled it out, and then another turnover to defence from Kendrick Davis, who throws the lob for Harold. But well done, Sobey.
Matt Hurt's got to shoot that little mid-range. He's normally money from that.
Continue to struggle from the three-point line. The Phoenix, 2 of 12 now. Had some opportunities. So Adelaide will run through their set. Davis, Vasiljevic, Harrell, Marshall and Detch. DJ feeling pretty good. That was always going to be a tough ask. Now Walton Jr. just figuring it out in the end. The seas parted and it opened it for Matt Hurt, who's just quietly gone about his business. 12 points.
5 assists now for Derek Walton Jr. It's pretty clear if they want a bucket, put the ball in his hands. Everybody move, everybody cut, have your feet set, ready. That's going to be a foul off the ball on Sobes.
He was close to giving one away, Nathan Sobey.
I like that foul. I like the intent that he's playing with, and he's trying to lift his team and get them to really play defense as a group. So I like that foul by Nathan Sobey.
It was as much as 20. Scored the last 6, South East Melbourne. The pick and roll call. Davis, Humphreys. And yeah, Davis with that explosive speed that he's got. When he gets downhill, he's hard to stop.
There's the resistance. You're spot on, Joey. He is lightning quick, but where's the help?
That's just a poor possession by South East Melbourne. The big man switches on and he doesn't defend. You've got to keep the guy in front of you. You're going to switch as a big man.
Foul drawn. Sobey.
That's where he's at his best.
Class.
Starting to get a couple rolling now. Has a career average of 21 against Adelaide, his former team. Best against any opponent, but right there. A little too quick for Nick Marshall. And Jason Kadee coming into the game, hearing Chris Reid call the sub on him. He's thinking, hang on, I was just on the pie. That can't be on me.
Just got on the floor.
Let's see more of that from Sobey. That's what we saw against New Zealand in that loss when he had the 24 points. He's able to attack the basket. And now he doesn't need much to get going. They'll be disappointed to leave that one short, although they'll retain possession. So again, a chance to eat into the margin as we tick down towards half-time.
It's an uncharacteristic miss by Nathan Sobey at the free throw line, but it just shows when you don't have your confidence in the offensive game, it can really transverse into the free throw line as he misses that three-point shot.
It's not quite going his way. Mayen finds Humphreys.
Was Mike Welch just having a spray at either someone on the bench or someone in the front row? You can hear on the coach's mic, just watching him.
Sobey gives it up to Vodanovic. He's got the size, and that's why they try to trap, and now Walton Jr. hasn't got it going at all from long range. Bought from 4.
Adelaide's defense is really packing the paint, so they're daring them to shoot that three-point shot. They're not shooting the ball well, so they're hesitating, but they just can't get those easy looks inside that they'd be wanting.
Humphreys already got 12, and now 14. That's a game high. Not quite. Vasiljevic has 15. The 29 between them in this first half.
Yeah, lighting it up. And Isaac Humphreys, we expected a bounce-back game, and that is what we have. Good finish from Matt Hurt. So Humphries was good enough to wall up without fouling, but they can't trade buckets. They need consecutive stops.
And they get a stop here, South East Melbourne. Kadee, feet set, launches.
He's played 13 minutes as his first field goal attempt. Puts them back up by 17. Impressive first half from Adelaide.
He's hurt again. He's been the only one that's really had it going to the offensive end. Well done from Vodanovic. They'll get the final possession of the half.
I don't think that's the right shot by Hurt. I think he can get the ball through a few more hands and really put pressure on the Adelaide defence.
Walton Jr. will go to work. He'll get inside. He wanted the foul. Humphries did well. And that caps off a terrific first half by the 36ers. They led by as much as 20 during that second term. And they'll take a handy 17-point lead at half-time off the back of DJ Vasiljevic with his 15 points. Kendrick Davis with 11 points and 4 assists. And Isaac Humphries, who has bounced back to form in a big way with 14 points. And he is down courtside with our man, John Casey.
Thanks, Joey. Yeah, nice place to be here back in Adelaide, huh?
Yeah, really good. We've had a weird start. I've had a very weird start, so it's really nice to be in our home arena, somewhere I love so much. Finally playing back to our usual self, or trying to find that identity a bit more.
You play with your heart on your sleeve. Have you been able to pinpoint why it hasn't been working until now?
There's been a few moving pieces within the team, personnel, stuff like that we've had to figure out. As a 5-man, I rely heavily on my guards and the rest of my team to sort of play with me, so I think we needed to figure that out a bit more, and every day we're getting better at it, and I think that's reflective of what we've done that first half.
A quick comment on the tandem with Montrez.
Yeah, awesome. We thought that would be really cool to try this week in practice, and it worked really well. So I think the more connection we find out on the court, the better it'll be for us.
Good luck in the second half.
Case.
The Adelaide 36ers doing it nicely at half-time, back at home for the first time this season. They are leading the South East Melbourne Phoenix by 17 points.
Just be warned, we are going to have those flames going up through this halftime show as well. We are welcoming an Adelaide DJ legend onto Brett Mark Court tonight, alongside the Colours Creative Breakers, throwing back with some vintage basketball tunes and some goats of the NBA. Please welcome Shep.
The Adelaide 36ers, they were back at home for the first time in NBL25, and gee, aren't they happy to be home in front of their home crowd, because they led by 9 points at quarter time. It was a sharp start and they were able to extend that to a 17-point lead at half time. Off the back of their stars, DJ Vasiljevic, Isaac Humphries leading the way. You can take a look at the numbers there. Pretty impressive for Adelaide 36ers. South East Melbourne, well, they've got some work to do at half time to get back into this contest. We're welcoming Pete Hooley, Alice Kunek. It was all about the Adelaide 36ers, and the talk was about Isaac Humphries and what had gone wrong with him early. They got the ball to him and the big man stepped up.
They did, and he's come out firing. He's 6 of 8 from the field. He's got a plus 13 in efficiency. He's been doing the little things that we know he can do so well. Rolling, finishing those little cheapy ones. He's getting in the right positions. He's playing great defense and just finishing at the rim. So we wanted him to play this game, and it's great to see him out there being physical.
Yeah, as we look at the Hungry Jacks highlights here of Isaac Humphries' first half, again, the key is he's being rewarded, because if you go back to the first 2 games, for the majority of them, he was getting to the right spots. They just weren't looking for him. Players are trying to force the thing. So he has been a monster in the first half. And again, it's no surprise that we look at his Blackmore shot chart. A lot of good things happen when he gets the ball in the right spots around the hoop. 14 points, and things are rolling for the Adelaide 36ers.
8 field goal attempts in the first half. He'd only had 10 field goal attempts in his first 2 games. But the other man that created some headlines this week was Kendrick Davis, replying to a tweet, which we love, but he's certainly been able to answer his critics in this half. He's had the 11 points, he's shooting the ball well, 4 assists and 2 steals. He's doing a bit of everything.
What I love the most is I don't think he took a shot for the first 4 minutes or when he was on the floor. He sat down and came out and then realised, okay, this is probably the group that I'm going to start to tick the scoreboard over, and he did that. He knows where his advantage is. It's putting the ball on the floor. He's super quick, and when the defence broke down from the Phoenix, he's exploited it.
He has, and what I've really liked is he's found his big man, and he's rewarded Isaac Humphries, he's rewarded Harrell. He's really been able to get downhill. He hasn't been unselfish. We know that sometimes imports can come into this league and want it to be a show and take over and be that little bit selfish, but he's bought into the program, he's bought into the Adelaide 36ers, and he's rewarding his big men.
And it feels like no one's forced it for Adelaide. They've all just taken their turn and everyone's got their moments.
And to be honest, they're only playing who they've got in front of them, but that's a super disappointing half from the South East Melbourne Phoenix. And we talked about subs, but they're going to take some pride on the defensive end. It's a tough night offensively, but you've got to stop the man in front of you, and they're just not doing that.
Well, it's going to be a great round 3 in the Hungry Jacks NBL, and tomorrow night it is a double header, and we have 2 absolute beauties. Cairns Taipans taking on the Jack Jumpers. What are you thinking with this one?
We've split it.
I went with the Jack Jumpers. So, look, Cairns and Cairns are tough. I've been there, I've seen it, but I reckon Jack Jumpers are going to get it done.
I think Taryn Armstrong's going to be back, so I'm going to give Cairns the benefit of the doubt in that one, but then all eyes are on this. These always go down to the wire. The Wildcats versus Melbourne United. Keanu Pinder trying to bounce back. Chris Golding, the Red Army, gets stuck in a CG over in Perth, and it normally means he's going for 40. He loves that. That's always fireworks between those 2 teams.
A big weekend of basketball, so make sure you continue to tune in. There is still a big second half to play out here at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. Can the South East Melbourne Phoenix get themselves back into this contest, or will Adelaide get their first win for the season? We'll find out right after this.
I was stoked with that. Got a few possessions.
Yeah, a few too many. So I didn't get my payout. There's nothing like hitting the game-winning shot. Yeah, but I backed a big win, not a little win.
That was a cracking win after trailing all game.
If you scored first, it would have landed in my multi. Don't let that spoil the score. If you notice this in yourself or a mate, visit hereforgame.com.au.
Supported by the Office of Autism 36 to make a difference. Sensory Room is back this season. We are pleased that this space has been further enhanced for patrons with sensory sensitivities and human disabilities. The skitzy room is located just down the stairs in doors 14A. Just visit the friendly staff for more details. Don't forget we are back here on Friday the 11th at 7 taking on the Sydney Kings. You don't want to miss this. Tickets are selling really quick. It's going to be a huge game next Friday night, so get your tickets for that 7 p.m. tip-off. After the game as well, we've got our post-game signing in the all-full player signing. Get out there for your chance to be the players who grab their autographs. Such a wonderful moment to welcome so many greats back to the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. Greg Michael celebrating our #1 ticket holders. Unfortunately, Aaron Phillips couldn't be here tonight, but we are so glad that the King is back in the house. Ken Cole, give him a massive round of applause. He's back on board for this season. Ken, we have the jersey for you.
I don't want to overcomplicate some things here, right? Talk it out, know your pickup points, be connected, winning time. This is what we wanted. Come on. Mike Wells. I came, I guess, from the NBA pretty much. I've spent 26 years of my life in the NBA. Another few years in Division I college basketball. 5 different windows with USA Basketball, but most recently the Charlotte Hornets, and before that the Utah Jazz. I always told Dante Exum and Joe Ingles in my time with the Jazz that this was always a goal of mine, to come to the NBL. You know, you start throwing out the wide net, you know everybody in the NBA, but there's people from around the world, and made some calls. One of the people was like Kim Bahuni, who's a high up with the NBA, and talking about different leagues and situations. And when I talked to different people, the NBL kept coming up. It's the hottest league. They're doing great thing. The Next Star program, there was all these different things. So that just sort of started the ball rolling, where I was starting to think about it a little bit more and starting to try to connect some dots and see if there were any opportunities available. And one thing led to Matt Weston, and then we started to talk. And you know, the idea was to come over and to really learn the NBL as an assistant, and much easier role to do that, you know, because you're making suggestions instead of decisions. But once we started learning all those things, I mean, the decision to come over was really easy.
Adelaide coach Mike Wells and John Casey had a great stat for us pre-game. Pete, he said no Adelaide 36er coach has gone zipping 3 to start a season, and Mike Wells is doing a pretty good job to make sure that's not him for the first half they've produced.
Yeah, absolutely. Still 20 minutes to go, and you expect that Mike Kelly had a bit of a spray at halftime because his team needs it. And yeah, see what Mike Wells can continue in this one. He seems to be settling in nicely. His family moved down, and his wife moved down, quit her job, retired, and moved down to Adelaide. But there's Vasiljevic, and your bold prediction is well on track, Alice.
I'm a money maker. I know my bold predictions. I know my shooters when I see one.
Yes, you said that he'd have a big night, and of course he's already a couple of big games to start the season, on track for another one. But Alice, what do you want to see? Let's look at the South East Melbourne Phoenix. What do you need to see from someone in particular or from the team to try and get themselves back into this contest?
There is a lot of things here, Joey. The defensive intensity needs to pick up, absolutely, first and foremost. We've spoken a lot about Derek Walton Jr., Nathan Sobey, but what I want to see is Geordie Hunter stay in this ball game. They need him to be efficient, they need him to be effective, but he's got to stay out of foul trouble in this game for them to be successful.
In this third quarter, I want to see throughout the entire 10 minutes that eventually the minutes get staggered between Sobey and Walton Jr., and they don't have any time on the floor where neither one of them is on there. They can be the man each and have their time to go.
Well, this is what we've really said. Maybe they do need to have Sobey come off the bench so then they can have the ball in their hand.
Roll clarity.
They can, the roll clarity, and that's what I think they're really lacking in this team, and it's showing.
Great hustle from the 36ers to win possession back, and Vasiljevic has got the hot hand, and that continues.
If we do get a replay of that, you look at the life of the South East Melbourne Phoenix bench just get sacked out of that on an offensive rebound. It was Owen Fox-Earl, it was Angus Glover. They're trying to bring the energy in this first minute of the third quarter. And an offensive rebound that lands in Vasiljevic's lap and just zapped the energy straight out of the Phoenix.
He's now got 18 points, 3 of 4 from the three-point line. Yeah, he's been shooting the lights out to start this season. There's Walton Jr. again with the finds. That's a great feed into the big man.
He's the best passer in the NBL. They need to continue to play through him, put the ball in his hands and let him make plays.
6 assists, but just the 4 points for Walton Jr.
Is this where Sobey just says, you know what, I'm going to play off you, Derek. I'm going to let you have the ball in your hands. I'm going to run off screens. Unlucky to see that one go down.
And that's the 4th foul on Geordie Hunter. Again, you don't mind that he's trying to set a tone and say no easy buckets, but he's going to have to sit down right now. And I was worried for a second there. But Geordie Hunter, you said, Alice, you didn't want him to get an early foul.
Look, I think he's unlucky in that foul, but
I think we might be getting a coach challenge.
Could be a challenge. But that's where Geordie has to say, I don't want to get that 4th foul. I'm not even going to put my hand up. I'm literally walking away from the contest.
We know how important he is defensively. We saw what happened in that second quarter when he was on the bench. He just had no presence in the paint in South East Melbourne. So it is a coach's challenge. Is that as much to try and protect Geordie Hunter, as much as they believe it's not a foul?
I think so. I think it is. Definitely. If Geordie Hunter's on 2, they're probably not going to waste the challenge here. So we'll have another look at it here. And again, there is contact in the air. Geordie Hunter probably doesn't try and go straight into the body of Montrezl Harrell. Let's have another look here. Does Geordie Hunter jump straight up? He's jumping backwards into Harrell. I'd be shocked if they won this.
That's a 50-50 call, and Geordie's already got 3 fouls, so it's an easy decision to give him that 4th foul.
You're right. If this was a no call in the play because Geordie Hunter's trying to go up and swipe it away, I'd be happy with that too, but I'd struggle to see they're going to overturn.
Yeah, this is unsuccessful, so it will be 4 fouls on Geordie Hunter. And now this is going to make it difficult for South East Melbourne. They have to try and figure out what they can do because Humphreys and Harrell are going to feast. We'll go to Scott Butler. Scott, what was the call?
Hey Lee, how you doing, mate? So when you look at the play, particularly the baseline camera angle, you see the lob pass and the elevation by Montreal. You see Hunter back into the player in the air, goes underneath the player, collects the body on the lob pass. That's 2 shots.
Exactly right. That baseline angle was perfect. The fact that he didn't jump straight up in a cylinder and took in the space of Montrezl Harrell, and now things get very interesting for the South East Melbourne Phoenix. And again, they have struggled to click offensively. But unfortunately, that whole first half, they let their poor offense dictate their defensive end, and they just didn't have any pride one-on-one.
They didn't, and that's when, as a group and as a collective, they've really got to kind of stand together and put it the other way. Okay, our defense dictates our offense. So if we play great defense, get stops, we're going to get easy offense. Nathan Sobey gets his 2, 4, 6 points in transition. Derek Walton Jr. gets an easy look, and everyone feels confident. Everyone's getting those easier looks.
Just his 5th point tonight for Montrezl Harrell, but he's hasn't really been needed. A few of his teammates stepping up. A comfortable lead here. Hurt by far being the best offensive weapon for South East Melbourne. Wieskamp wanted to take the shot, in the end gave it up to Sobey, and again great defense.
Blocked by Kendrick Davis. There's not a lot of him.
Great defense, but that stagnant offense by South East Melbourne. They need to see more movement as Wieskamp fouls Humphreys. I need to see more movement from them, Hulls. They're just stagnant. They're all looking at one another. Who's going to play one-on-one offense? That's not going to win you the basketball game.
You can tell they're trying to find answers on the fly, right? And this is from the first 2 games as well. They're just trying to figure out the role clarity. They're trying to figure out where things click in the middle of the season. This is what you want at least 70% of the way figured out in pre-season.
Vasiljevic from the corner. Good look. Didn't get it to fall. Now Walton Jr. pulls up and just hasn't been his night. None of 5.
That's not a terrible shot for him, but in the situation of the way the game is going, it's bad. You finally get a stop, a missed shot. You've got to run through some sort of offense. And even the play before, they probably went a little too unselfish, which we probably haven't said a whole lot. But they were really trying to make it a point of getting ball through hands. So they just look a little lost right now.
Here's Davis. Shot clock down to 6. Trying to put on the moves. Coughed it up. And now Sobey's going to pull up in transition. And they do get that one to fall. And they needed that.
So I was just lucky to see that one go down. I think Hools was about to have a heart attack there. There was no rebounders there, Hools. So that's a great shot when it goes down, but if it doesn't, you've got no rebounders. Adelaide are going down as Kendrick Davis nails another mid-range jumper. Adelaide are going down the other end in a fast break position.
And again, they'd be deflated with the fact that they finally get a 3-ball to drop and then they give up a bucket down the other end. But that was pretty well defended, hand in the face. So you can't let that dictate the next couple of possessions.
6 of 9 from the field. Kendrick Davis after 9 of 30 in his first couple of games. 4 assists. He's had a couple of steals. It's been terrific. Walton Jr. continuing to probe. Hurt. He still can't really eat into this margin. It's hovered around 17, 18, 19-point margin since late or midway through the second quarter.
Adelaide have really stifled the offense of the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, and conversely, they just haven't been getting enough stops as DJ does a little wayward pass, but Morale's able to get hands on it.
Stepped out of bounds. So a turnover.
But Adelaide have made them shoot those ugly shots. And that's the reason why they're shooting, 17.6% at the three-point line, because Adelaide have dared them. They've really made them question what they're doing on the offensive end.
It'll be Walton Jr. again. He's going to look to probe. Nothing really going. Shot clock down to 3. And in the end, they were going to turn it over, and it will be a turnover in the end.
They go from a really good defensive possession where, to be honest, the last 2 possessions, Wieskamp has been unbelievable defensively, refusing to get screened, to an offense where everything is east to west. There was no one really getting heat on the rim, no one turning the corner. So right now they've just got a tale of 2 completely different styles, right? Offensively, it's either no pass or one pass, get the head down, or they just try and get way too many passes, get too many sides with no aggression. There's no in between.
Here's Davis. Get it back from Harrell. Humphrey sets the screen and then rolls. As everyone has spoken about all week, when he rolls, just give it to him.
That's a great pass by Kendrick Davis. He's able to find the rolling Humphreys, and Humphreys able to finish strong. Great possession there.
He's Hurt knocking down another one.
Go back to it. It is very simple right now. If they're going to play big, because Geordie Hunter has 4 fouls, you have got shown in the first half and in that play right there, if you just get a pick and pop with Matt Hurt, he's going to have a wide open shot.
He's shooting the ball at 50% from 3 as Harrell has a tough finish there. He's shooting at 50%. Get him the ball. Get him the rock.
Go exactly straight back to that play that just worked and see what they do. They switch it, and you get to have an isolation on the big man. So 2 possessions in a row, they've brought Humphreys into the on-ball. First, they got a pick and pop. Next time, they got a switch, and he got down for an easy 2 points. Do it again until they make a stop.
Told you, make a great coach.
And they do get a stop. They forced a turnover, and it's a 3v1. Hurt again, 19 points. He's been a walking bucket this season. And Mike Wells wants a timeout. They get it back to 15. Tangerine timeout. Matt Hurt, 19 points, 8 of 13 shooting. He's come off 3 games of 16, 18 and 20. So he's on track for another 20 plus tonight.
I like the way he's playing, but I love that possession from Southeast Melbourne. They let the offense be dictated by their defense. They've had really great defense. They've had hands in passing lanes. They've gotten great stops, and they've been able to run the floor and get an easy 2 points.
Well, let's get down to courtside. John Casey has an injured star with him for the Adelaide 36ers.
Thanks very much, Joey. He's got a smile on his face, though, big right at the moment. Great to have you back in the league as a championship winner as well, Jarrell. Tell us what are you liking about this so far?
I'm loving the atmosphere right now here. The fans definitely came out and they showing their support for us, and the fellas is doing a great job of giving them a show. So hopefully we keep this on for the next 15 minutes and get a victory for the first.
Another milestone for you this week, back running. How is the rehab going on your foot?
It's going great. It felt good. Been excited to start getting back on the floor and working out, and everything's been going great. So hopefully we can keep moving forward, and I'll be out here with the guys shortly.
Have you got a game circled as yet to come back?
Not at the moment, man. I did that when I first got in at the beginning of the season, and just don't want to mark games. Just want to just play it by ear and let it do what it do.
Great to have you on board here and smiling.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Jarrell Martin with John Casey. And there's Cole Chalmers, the Olympian, silver medalist.
There's some big-name athletes come out of South Australia, don't they, Joey?
Yes, there are, Pete.
Is that you included, Pete?
Oh,
or,
thank you, Alice. I appreciate that.
You're more than welcome.
653rd on the list, Pete.
I'll give you that 20 back. I appreciate that.
Cheap change.
Can they get another stop here, South East Melbourne? Get it inside this 15. Shot clock's ticking down, although then Humphries helps himself to another 2.
But again, they can't let that deflate them. That was a very good defensive possession. They forced a bit of a mishap from Adelaide. They just scored at the back end of it. They've started to lift their presence a little bit on that end. Can they...
Great find from Glover to Lewis. So Mike Kelly goes to the bench. Have immediate impact.
Sometimes your bench are the best people to play when your starters aren't finding their way and they're not finding rhythm. The bench wants energy, they want minutes, they're coming with no fear as DJ has an easy lane to the basket. Humphrey's unlucky to miss that one, but sometimes your bench are the best people to play when your team's not really finding their rhythm. So it's great to see South East Melbourne bench coming out aggressive.
They're still in this game. They get another bucket here, get a couple of stops at the end of this third quarter. The pressure will build for Adelaide.
He's hurt. He's been the man with the hot hands.
Interested to see if this is shooting.
Blue 34, push, 3 shots.
And it is going to be a shooting foul.
It didn't look like it. It looked like a smart decision from Matt Hurt to throw it at the rim.
He's in an upwards motion, shooting the ball.
The way that he shoots, unfortunately, even if he's looking like he's going to make a pass, an over-the-head pass, that's just how he shoots. It didn't look like it in live play.
That's not in the motion. If he then releases it on the floor. He's putting in an upward motion and gets fouled.
I hear the referee saying, let's have another look at it here. So he shot fakes. Oh, no. Yeah, I don't think that's 3 shots.
It's not a shooting foul.
He shot faked and then went to put it on the floor.
He almost had the ball in his hip pocket. He was almost putting it down in his pocket to take the ball on the floor.
It's very smart play from Matt Hurt. He felt the contact and then threw it up.
I'll certainly take it.
But they are right back in this ball game. They get a couple more stops here. Their defense is lifted. And again, it's the same lineup that ended the second quarter, the first quarter. The 4 bench players and Matt Hurt.
They've restricted Adelaide to just 12 points in this third quarter. Can they get it to single digits before 3-quarter time? Give themselves some momentum and a chance. Kadee, Davis, Mayen. And there's Harold doing what he's always done.
Joey, we love the productivity of Isaac Humphries and how he's really played this game, but Lat Mayen's probably someone who's he started the season really well. He was averaging nearly 18 points a game. He's come off the bench. He's probably struggling to really find his rhythm now, and that's when he's got to really get himself into this game. But that's probably something that Coach Mike Wells thought, you know what, if we need more productivity from Isaac, I'm going to have to put Lat Mayen to the bench, and that unfortunately sacrifices his confidence and his productivity in the game.
And I think it's a good point, because you can have that conversation with Lat being like, look, some other teams around the league, we need you to be in the starting lineup or play more minutes. There he is on cue, knocks it down. Because you think about some other teams like Sydney Kings, Xavier Cooks. Xavier Cooks, it's a different sort of matchup. You probably need that kind of speed, that kind of athleticism in the 4 spot. As Montrezl Harrell says, no! Oh. And that's it. You heard that?
Let's take a look at the Amy replay. We'll go to the 3-pointer first from Lat Mayen. That's what he does so well. Good find again from Kendrick Davis. Down the other end.
And then he blocked that, and then he just stopped talking. He didn't say anything.
Silence the crowd.
And a little bit, towards a bit of feeling in this. And Montrezl, oh, that's got to be very careful. Contact with the referee.
Kendrick.
We love his passion and his energy, but that's where he's towing the line here. He's really got to keep his nerves and his emotions in check.
Well, Dunovic being right in the middle. Let's have another look here.
So Harold didn't like the contact that Vodanovic had Adelaide on Davis, and he wasn't taking any of it. Doesn't matter who he is.
There's the push in the back.
First foul I've got is on Jason Medina, number 7, push in the back.
Kadee?
I think he means Kendrick Davis.
Oh.
There's a pretty clear foul on Kendrick Davis on Glover.
So just reviewing the play, referees are working out exactly what it's going to be.
Harrell and Vodonovic. Yep. Okay, we have the first foul is blue number 7 for the push on the rebound. We have white ball. We have a technical foul on white 15. And we have a technical foul on blue 24. We're going to restart the game with blue ball, white ball on the end line.
A couple of technicals on Montrez and Vodonovic. And there was Kadee. It could have been Kadee or Davis that had the foul for the push on Glover. So it'll be just interesting to see how everyone settles back into this contest.
I don't mind the double technical. Just say, look, let's move on from that.
We knew this game was going to have some spice, but I didn't think it was going to have that much spice, Wolves.
There was not enough of a spark for that to turn into a fire. There was nothing in that. That did not have to get to there.
They created out of nothing, didn't they, really?
It was absolutely nothing.
I've tried here. I've tried twice with Tom now. I'm telling you. Okay, you've had your chance to tell me. I'm telling you. I've tried to work with him here. I tried to work with him. I need you to do something.
When he gets physically assaulted.
So that message was to tell Mike Kelly to tell Tom Vodonovic to settle down because he's had a couple of words to him.
Well, Montrez Harrell's probably lucky the referee got in the way from the big shove as well, because that would have been a little different as well. The referee was trying to break it up.
So we get back to the action. Might be a pretty intense couple of final minutes of this third quarter. Kadee almost got the steal.
Here we go.
Despite the 15-point margin, everyone's still engaged. It's been a much better quarter from South East Melbourne. Just need to get a bit more reward on the scoreboard. Get some momentum. Foxwell checks in. He can provide a spark. Hurt, been excellent. Beats through, but couldn't finish his own work. And Harrell pulls down the board. Kendrick Davis, 13 points, 6 assists, and then blocked by Foxwell.
Great job by Foxwell to stay in that play. Kendrick Davis had just got around him, but he was able to keep himself in the play and get a hand to that ball.
He went looking for Hurt, who attacked the offensive glass, couldn't get it. And now Adelaide, and it's going to be a foul against Montrez Harrell for a push. He again can't believe it.
That's his third. And unlike the NBA, technical fouls are going to count. On your personal foul count. Let's have another look here. Oh.
Just a slight shove, unfortunately. It was...
To be honest, he didn't have to do it. He had the size. All he had to do was just stop. He just had to stop and kind of just hold Foxwell there. As soon as you put your hands there, even if it's a slight little touch. That's his fourth foul, sorry, because of that technical.
Keep him out there. Of course, Montrez playing against a former teammate, Pete. He played with Derek Walton Jr. with the LA Clippers, 2019-2020. They played together. As Vodonovic can't finish, and the crowd enjoyed that one.
Oh, that's some good looks.
And that was the year that Harrell won the best sixth man. Derek Walton Jr. played 23 games for the Clippers. So, are familiar with one another. There's another foul's called. And they are in the bonus, the 36ers. So Kendrick Davis will go to the line. Low free throws for both teams, just 10 attempts for Adelaide, 12 attempts for the Phoenix. Have you seen his game, Pete? Kendrick Davis.
He's been good. He's been really under control. I think that's what's impressed me the most. Hasn't forced anything, got 6 assists, 14 points, and he's really picked his moments where he's thought about ticking the scoreboard over. And he's been exceptional in doing so.
Just being able to get other people involved, you know, it's not just him scoring or looking to score. He's been able to find Isaac Humphries on a few possessions. He's kicked the ball out. He's attacked the rim. He's attacked closeout. So he's been doing it both ends of the floor as well, too, defensively as well.
First big game this for Adelaide 36ers tonight. They play again on Saturday against Illawarra away. That's going to be a massive ask. South East Melbourne have a 9-day break after this before they host the Brisbane Bullets. So they can try and finish this one strong. Hunter try to be creative. And then Wieskamp again just can't finish under the basket.
It's been the story of the last 90 seconds. It's blown back out to 17 points because they've had good looks. They just haven't knocked them down. Shooting 37% from the field in the game and just 4 of 20 from 3. You're not going to win too many games at those clips.
No, you're not. And we both played at Adelaide Arena, and we know it is hard to shoot as an opposing team when you're coming to Adelaide Arena. But they've got to find better ways to score. They've got to find better ways to get clearer looks. And I think a lot of that comes from that defensive lockdown and that defensive lockdown mentality.
We always have these tough games, right? At some point in the season. Some have them more often than not. But the good teams, when the ball's not going in the hoop, you're locking up defensively. You understand, look, it's just a tough night shooting or it's not clicking. But if we can't score, neither are you.
Inside the final minute 30. Foxwell wants to get to that left hand, can't finish. There he goes, Kendrick Davis. He went looking for Marshall in the corner. It's not quite on the same page.
They're the ones, if you're Montrezl Harrell, you don't actually set the screen, one, because you're worried about an offensive foul or end your night, and two, you're trying to get a lob. All you're worried about is just rolling out, hopefully getting a nice pass.
9th turnover of the night for Adelaide 36ers. Just 6 turnovers for South East Melbourne. It's been their shooting, though, going at just over 36% from the field. Sobey, been a tough night for him. This time plays facilitator for Hunter.
I tell you what, there was not a whole lot in that from Nick Marshall. If I'm Mike Wells, I'm having a look at this. Nick Marshall looked like he was just standing there with his hands up. Right there, the foul wasn't called there. I think we're going to get a coach's challenge. A little bit more nervous after seeing the replay from the baseline angle.
I think Marshall didn't give Geordie Hunter some space to land. He landed, but he was in his cylinder. So maybe the refs thought that he didn't give him that chance to make the move and to get that space.
So the 36ers are challenging the call. The Tangerine timeout.
Here we go, have another look. So it wasn't on that push.
Did he step in slightly?
Yeah, I think he did. I really, on that replay, from the baseline angle, I do think he did just step in. So right there, as Geordie Hunter goes up, he is probably moving. From the broadcast view, it didn't look like that. So right there, yeah.
Slides that left hip in. And a tough night for Geordie Hunter. Just the 4 points, 1 rebound. He's got the 4 fouls. He hasn't been able to get any court time. And of course, the coach's challenge, as we predicted, is unsuccessful. So Geordie Hunter will go to the free throw line.
I said that he should have a look at challenging that, but in the grand scheme of things, that's just Nick Marshall's 3rd foul. Probably don't have to do it.
Let's go to Scott Butler for the official word.
Hey Lee, how you doing, guys? So look, this foul is not on the catch. This is the pushing foul on the lob pass while the player is actually in midair. When you look at the baseline camera angle, you can see 2 hands pushes the airborne player out of position before the catch. So it's not an active shooting play, it's a bonus situation.
There you go. If you saw the replay, it did look like you could see the little shove there, and the whistle came a little bit later. And in the end, it still results in 2 free throws.
Line of 14 from the free throw line tonight, South East Melbourne. Just 4 of 20 from 3-point range. It's been the issue. They haven't been able to finish some of their work under the basket. And Matt Hurt will check back into the game. He has the 22 points. No other South East Melbourne player in double digits. Much healthier spread from Adelaide. And inside the final 50 seconds. South East Melbourne just get 1 more stop and score at the other end. Something to hang on to at 3/4 time. Here's Mayen. Shot clock down to 5. Davis now going to go to work, and then Wieskamp put the hand in, committed the foul.
That's just a foul that Wieskamp doesn't need to commit. He's helping off the strong side. Rule number 1 in basketball rules, don't help off the strong side. He didn't need to put his hands. It's just an easy 2 points for Davis to go to the line.
Spot on. It's self-inflicted wounds, right? Because, again, for 22 seconds of that shot clock, it was pretty good defense. They were moving. They were refusing to get screened. Then right 2 seconds to go, you get your hand in the cookie jar in a spot you're not supposed to be in. And that's probably when they go back and review it. Those plays there, when you get caught out of position and you foul or you pick up a turnover, is because they're a step slow. They're reactive rather than being proactive.
Adelaide's really controlled the terms of this game, but Southeast just haven't been as disciplined as they need to be. As a team who's looking down the barrel of the 0-4, need to see more discipline from this team defensively.
Sobey almost picked off again from Davis. It was a risky pass, cross-court. Kendrick Davis has already shown his ability to pick off some sloppy passes from the opposition. Couldn't quite get that one off. Just checking exactly how long left on the clock. They're trailed by 17 at the half. For all their work, they only eaten into the margin by 1 point. Southeast Melbourne have been pretty well in control. The Adelaide 36ers, Sobey has tried to get one going, hurt.
He's been terrific.
He's been excellent. 24 points and a chance for a 3-point play.
Instance in Memphis, and the way he's played in just the first 4 games. Oh, look at this, just the effort on the offensive glass. It's his 3rd offensive rebound, 24 points. Come season's end, he'll get another opportunity in the NBA. Some team will pick him up, whether it's a 10-day or whatever it is. He's been outstanding.
And a former Duke star, as you said, played the 8 games at the Memphis Grizzlies. Been terrific.
What a trick play.
Finished the quarter. Davis, will he get it off in time? He did. And it's a 13-point lead to the Adelaide 36ers. Southeast Melbourne eat it back a little bit, but they've still got some work to do if they want to get their first win for the season. We'll be right back after this.
We'll work out the rest later. Get ready to start the clock. Turn around. Your time starts now. Doug and Ollie going for free throws. Wowee. So we're just looking for 1 at the moment. Doug's good. Doug leading by 1. Ollie just have fun. You're just out here having fun. Ollie, you're not going to win. It's just not happening, but make the most of your time here on Brett Mark Court. Thanks to my money house. Ollie, this is real bad. Doug, you are going great though. We're having an awesome time. Oh, come on, I want my put money inside. Come on, thanks to my money house. It's getting worse. Doug's really concentrating. We've got 3, 2, 1. All right, stop the clock. Give it up for Oliver. Well done. That was good. Doug, come with me. Doug, come up half court, half court, half court. You got $500 at the moment. Now, thanks to my money house, they are prepared to double it to $1,000 if you make a half court shot. All right, how are you feeling? We did this twice last season. You ready? Yeah, not good. He's feeling not good. That means he's probably going to get it. Here we go for $1,000 first game of the season. Let's go, Doug. Wow. I mean, I want to take the $500 off you, but you get to keep it anyway. Give it up for Doug. My money house taking care of the cashier this season. Let's bring the boys home, Adelaide. An amazing crowd here tonight. Our first sellout of the season in our first home game. Amazing attendance. 9,377. Give it up for yourselves, 36ers family. Let's go.
Well, we saw late in that 3rd quarter, things got a little bit heated. Tempers flared. Montrezl Harrell was right in the thick of it. A double technical was awarded to both sides, but Pete, you picked up something.
So have a look at the top of the screen. So Nick Popovich, the high performance coach, during that, they've had a look at it, gone back and had a look at the vision. And he's been ejected. He stepped onto the floor. He's not a head coach. You're not allowed to come onto the floor during that. No one can leave the bench. So it's going to be 2 free throws for Southeast Melbourne to start this 4th quarter. When they went back to have a look at it, leaving the floor as not a head coach, he's been thrown out of this game.
So that was the replay centre that picked up on that. Well done. 2 free throws to start this 4th quarter for that incident late in the 3rd. And they'll take anything they can get. Southeast Melbourne, they still get them to 11 points to start the 4th quarter. And we just want a little stat, Alice, just to get the Southeast Melbourne fans excited. The last 5 games at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre, the team that has trailed at 3/4 time has won.
On the bench, he's been ejected from the game because he
so
come on.
Okay,
Yes.
so. And I don't think it was much. I don't think he's... But again, the rules are the rules. You step on the floor as someone who's not supposed to be during an altercation like that.
So no grey, just black and white.
Lee, going back to that stat, I can't see Adelaide losing this ball game. Into that Adelaide Entertainment Centre. I love statistics. I love history. I can't see Adelaide 36ers giving this ball game up.
That's why you're the expert, Alice. I'm just reading out the numbers as Hurt was wide open. And that could have got it back to 8 points, and it would have been game on. Still can be game on. John Casey courtside.
Yeah, just in addition to that technical foul for Nick Popovich being ejected, it was actually the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix assistant coach Luke Brennan who alerted the referees to it during the incident and told Mike Kelly, and Mike Kelly relayed that to him, and that's, I think, where the genesis of it was. So credit to Luke Brennan for being switched on.
And the Phoenix, they just hang around. Again, it doesn't take much to change momentum. 2 free throws to begin this quarter. And that is switched on from the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. They know that, again, it doesn't have to be much, but that is a bench tech, and he's out of the game.
And this is the closest Southeast Melbourne have been since quarter time. They're within 9, and they get the shot clock down to 3. Tough shots.
Got a wedgie.
Answer that too often?
Oh, that's a decent wedgie too.
Genuine.
Oh.
No one's volunteering to go up and get it. Normally they queue up.
Now, Lee, going back to our last comment there.
Come on.
Can we give him the floor wiping stick? Don't throw a basketball at it.
Geordie Hunter just needs to turn around.
Standing
Come
there.
on, Geordie.
This isn't under 14s.
He doesn't want to do it.
Come on, Geordie.
This is not fair, the ref. Come on, Geordie. There you go.
Now, back to our last comment. Adelaide has won each of its last 7 games when allowing less than 90 points. So I cannot imagine them having a 28-point 4th quarter here. Going back to our last little comment and statistic.
You counted my stat. That's a good number. 90 has been the number for Adelaide. We know they can score. And they've been able to get stops tonight. It's certainly not out of the realm here.
I wasn't one of the guys yelling away.
Yeah, you're right, you're right.
You're good.
So is that a possession arrow? To Adelaide is Kendrick Davis.
They got it.
Wide open look.
They've got to stop. And this is a 9-point ball game. This drops, we're going to have some fun to watch.
Again, they've been even dying by the sword from the 3-point line tonight.
Their shot selection just hasn't been the right shots. That's where Kendrick Davis, they're shooting the ball at 23% from the 3-point line. Morale knocks that one down, but that's where they've got to have better shot selection as a group. You've got to realise what's working for us, what's not working for us. As Wieskamp lets off another one, that's just a poor shot selection.
So you missed that last one with Derek Welton Jr., who's just trying to really wrestle momentum the Phoenix way. Okay, that's understand why they take that. And then you go down and let another one fly. They're still in this ball game.
Davis again. Able to burn by his opponent and then draw the foul. He's been good tonight. They go to the free throw line as Geordie Hunter cops one across the chops.
Well, they're still in the ball game, but they give up an offensive rebound, and that just allows Kendrick Davis to just attack the defense and go to the free throw line for two easy points.
Friendly fire there from Wieskamp and Geordie Hunter. And you're spot on. The first half was a lot of, there was no pride defensively. The players looked flat. There was no energy offensively. They couldn't get it to click. This half, you can tell that they've tried to switch a lot of that, but it's just been those self-inflicted wounds of we're in the wrong position. I have a quick swipe at it, foul with 2 seconds on the shot clock, and even those went, oh, we played good defense, we give up an offensive rebound. But this has been a much better second half from the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix.
18 points for Kendrick Davis, 6 assists, a couple of steals. He'll come to the bench for Jason Cadee. No, not quite. And Matt Hurt, 27 points, shooting at 53% from the field. Next best, well, he's Camp Sobey with 7 points and Walton with 8. And a tough night for most of these Phoenix players.
It's a tough night. We see Nathan Sobey on screen. He actually averages 20.8 points a game against the Adelaide 36ers. Now we see him with those 7 points, 3 of 10 from the line, from the field goal percentage. I can't imagine he'd be too impressed, but he's got to find other ways to get into that game. Wieskamp lets off another one. That's just not a good shot.
It's now 4 of 25. Walton Jr. certainly not giving up. He feels they can get right back into this. He's going to lead the charge. Hurt gave up the 3, attacks the basket. Strong.
He finishes through contact so well, Matt Hurt. He's got 29 points with 7.5 minutes to go. The next highest scorer on the Phoenix is 8 points. Is Derek Walton Jr. Matt Hurt is doing it all.
Single-handedly keeping Southeast Melbourne in it. They turn the ball over. Harrell and Davis not on the same page. Sobey with an easy layup.
We got ourselves a ball game.
And it's back to 9. And there's just been a bit of a shift in energy in the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. The fans have just tightened up a little bit. Southeast Melbourne got a bit of momentum. Can they stop Humphreys? Bench yelling how long, they can't. And he's the first 36er to hit 20 points. Walton left wide open. And his tough shooting night continues, none of 6.
Well, outside of Matt Hurt's 10 of 19 from the field, the rest of the team is combined for 31% from the floor. And they're still only down 11.
And the rest of them are 1 for 22 from the three-point line. Sorry, 1 of 17 from the three-point line.
Good hustle.
Hurt's got 3 of the 4 three-pointers.
The possession arrow goes to Adelaide, but like you said, Halls, I love the hustle from Nathan Sobey. He's not getting it done at the offensive end. It hasn't been his night, and he's trying to impact the game in other ways.
And again, you're looking for the answers after these games too, right? When you're the coaching staff. Everyone's talking about the bench, maybe changing up the starting lineup, but when you've got 2 guys who, what they do best is have the ball in their hands and create. They do it very differently. But trying to stagger their minutes as best as you can until the end of the game is probably going to be a short-term solution until they figure out some other key rotations around them.
Yeah, they're the worst team in the competition so far, getting points from their bench. And again, they haven't got anything from them tonight. Walton Jr., Sobey, can he get hot late? Not even close. From Hunter.
We saw how good Nathan Sobey was last year in Brisbane. You don't lose your offensive scoring and your mindset. You don't lose that. You don't lose your ability as a player. It's just the confidence. It's putting him in the right positions. This is where Mike Kelly has to find a way. How do I play them together? How do I stagger those minutes, like you said, Halls, and get them to be both effective in their own right?
You also don't lose that if coming off the bench is the right thing for you. As Joe Wieskamp continues to struggle as well, Walton Jr. trying hard, but maybe it's Wieskamp who moves to the bench and you have that impact shooter coming off the bench. It doesn't have to be Nathan Sobey, but just to try and stagger some minutes somewhere so you can have that impact scorer coming off the bench and a defender in the starting lineup.
Foul's going to be called against Derek Walton. He thought he was fouled, but we'll get down courtside. John Casey.
Yeah, just on the back of what Pete Hall is talking about at the moment, I have to say I'm shocked that the Phoenix cannot find minutes here for Ben Ayre. Last season, he averaged 11 a game. He hit 42 threes, the most by anyone for the Phoenix, at 40%. He had double figures in 20 of the 27 games. He started 13 games, but they were injury-ravaged and he had to step up, but he did. And I'm really amazed that they can't find minutes for him. He's had a DMP the last 2 games, hasn't been on tonight. I spoke to Simon Mitchell about that pre-game and he said, look, we're just a little bit heavy in that area and they've wanted to promote Foxwell, and I'm a big Foxwell fan, but you just wonder what Ben Ayre can bring to the table when you look at the numbers he was posting last season.
Averaging almost 11 points a game, and he was an impact player off the bench. Is Case got a point?
Well, I think he would, especially in this
tonight,
game, right?
Yeah.
In the first half when the offense just isn't working, you know you're going to get energy, effort from him, and you might get some makes that makes it contagious. When some teams start seeing the ball drop, everyone else helps out. Great block there from Matt Hurt.
Oh, just great hustle play from Humphries. Gave himself a fist pump. They did all the hard work, South East Melbourne.
He's been terrific. 22 points. Isaac Humphries, 10 of 14 from the floor.
And Halls, this is where, you know, Mike Kelly has to make that tough decision. Your stars aren't firing. They're not playing amazing basketball. They're not gelling. As Geordie Hamilton doesn't catch that one. But this is where he has to make those tough calls. Angus Glover, he's not getting any minutes. Owen Foxwell, this is where...
And that is a dagger, Alice, on cue for all their hard work. They got within 9. Detch makes it 14. Tough work from here for South East Melbourne.
This is where I'm saying that Mike Kelly has to make those tough calls. Your starters aren't firing, they're not clicking, they're not gelling. Maybe you've got to give minutes to someone like a Glover, to someone like a Ben Eyre, Owen Foxwell, to come in, to ignite your offense, ignite your defense, play that free-flowing basketball, and then let your starters come in. They're a bit looser, the scoreboard's ticking over a little bit more, and they don't have that pressure on them, Halls.
Yeah, it's something that you feel like it's going to happen sooner rather than later, just to try and really fix it up and just give a fresh look to everybody, to be honest. And I said that Derek Walton Jr. should be their leading man, but clearly Matt Hurt's their leading guy, right? So Matt Hurt likes to play alongside Derek Walton Jr., so let those two rock for the first few minutes, then Sobey can come in and whoever he likes to play alongside, they can finish out the first quarter.
So Detch's first score of the game, that three-pointer, has extended the lead to 14 points. And speaking of threes, take a look at the Mitsubishi Motors three-point leaders. That man on screen, DJ Vasiljevic, he has 11 in 3 games. Mind you, he's shooting at over 50% from those 11 three-pointers. Matt Hurt also in there, and Rob Edwards, who's had a terrific start to his career in the NBL. Now it's going to be tough for South East Melbourne from here. Sorry, Alice, they've got some work to do. Time is going to work against them. Matt Hurt couldn't finish.
I should give bold predictions more often, Halls. How's your bold prediction of 100 going?
Yeah, well, that one's done. And my other one that I called an audible right before the start, and I changed it. Just to be clear, that one was further away than this one. I just try to predict in-game.
He's hurt again.
Thank goodness.
Lethal.
Thank goodness for Matt Hurt. 32 points now, 6 rebounds. He's been terrific.
Shooting at 53%. That would have been a bold call, that Hurt would have 32.
That's what I tried to tell them. They didn't change it quick enough.
There is Vasiljevic. Alice, bold call. He's got 20 now. That's his eighth consecutive game, going back from late last season. He's had 20-plus points. The best streak in the NBL.
It is, but that's just too easy for DJ, just going right down the middle. We know he's a great shooter. We know he can put the ball on the floor, but that's in South East Melbourne. They've got to defend him better. Just let him have a wide-open layup.
So that last play, you spot on your last play, you get back to within 11 like they are now. The game's not over, but your defense has to be spot on, and they let him walk down into a floater. But they've scored again. 11-point ball game. This is by no means over. What defense are we going to get from them? And it's the exact same cut, copy, paste. Little dribble move, one-on-one, same floater, same spot. Can't happen.
Defensively, if you're trying to make a stance and you're trying to find an identity as a group, these things can't happen, was right.
Sobey looking for Hunter. He wasn't ready for it. So we'll take a look at the Amy replay. We'll speak about the struggles from South East Melbourne from beyond the arc. Matt Hurt is 4 from 9. The rest of the team is 1 from 19. 32 points, 11 of 21 from the field. He's been exceptional. 1 of 19 for the rest of the team. And again, it's because a lot of them, they're just trying to make offense themselves rather than try and get it through a system. And that's why, as you said, Alice, some tough calls will have to be made just on rotations. And not so much rotations, but combinations, right? Walton Jr. and Matt Hurt clearly have a little thing going in the pick-and-pop game. Walton Jr.'s got 10 assists. I would say a large majority of those are to Matt Hurt. Find little combinations that work and then try and find where those minutes fit into a game. And here is Ben Eyre, ready to check in. Ben Eyre music. 10 points, 10 assists for Walton Jr., but just 5 of 16 from the field. He's tried hard. He's tried to get his team into it. Just hasn't been his night shooting the ball. And there is almost another assist. So Ben Eyre does check in now with Angus Glover. Some might say a little too late, but you never know. What about Alice? You said pre-game that the game coming up Saturday night between Illawarra and Adelaide. You thought Illawarra easily. Have you seen enough or anything from Adelaide tonight to think that maybe that's going to be a closer game than you're thinking? You see Adelaide going to Wollongong and winning?
I'm not sure about winning, Joey, but look, I've been really impressed with the 36ers tonight. They've bounced back from the 0-2 start, you know, if they win this game. Getting that win on the board. Illawarra are tough at home. We know how tough it is to play Illawarra, but I like what I'm seeing from this Adelaide 36ers team. They're playing with defensive intensity. They're moving the ball. They're sharing the ball. But we know how tough it is to play in Illawarra.
And again, they'll probably roll out the same starting lineup. So Harrell and Humphreys against Days and Foley. That'll be fun to watch. They're different types of bigs, but I like that Isaac Humphreys, when he spoke to Case at halftime, said they tried it in practice and it clicked, and some good things have happened. Montrezl Harrell has 9 points, 10 rebounds. Isaac Humphreys has 22 points. Kendrick Davis 19. All their superstars are chiming in.
Yeah, they've all showed up tonight. The stars for the 36ers. And they just need to not be reckless here to close this one out. Vasiljevic draws the foul. No basket, but gave the crowd a little bit of a highlight.
That's Wieskamp's 4th foul. We know that he is long, he's that rangy defender, but that's where he's just got to have a little bit more foul discipline and really force DJ to go over that screen so he can't reject that pick as Humphreys takes on her.
Trouble.
Just his second trouble for the night.
But again, you don't mind that because he's being ultra aggressive. He is feeling good about himself, and so he should.
Ben Eyre sparks something. Everything has to go their way from here, and that's not going to help. That might be it. Kendrick Davis, the lob for Harrell, who couldn't finish what would have been the exclamation mark on the night. And not even Ben Eyre can break the drought from beyond the arc. The 36ers fans, they've all come out again. They've enjoyed what they've seen. This Adelaide team have high expectations. Take a look at this.
Come on, Montrez.
Look,
you made a career out of this.
He was too open.
Oh, in the slow-mo as well, and he's just lost it in the last second. And you see that fan is as shocked as everybody else is. That's a prime Joey Montagna. Huh?
Humphreys this time plays facilitator, and now he gets his chance.
I'm liking this duo. As I said, I was surprised they hadn't played that all together in the first 2 games.
Now they're 4 stars, all in double digits. There's Lewis. There's the one that can break that drought, knock down the 3.
Tell you what, this is going to get interesting.
Can he shoot again?
Shoot again.
From the exact same spot, the exact same result.
Hold the phone, Joey.
7 points. We've seen crazier things, Pete.
That's going to hurt. Go down and shoot some free throws.
Davis will go to the free throw line. It was a perfect 6 from 6 for the night. Down his first, so he's now got 20 points. So Davis, Humphreys and Vasiljevic have all got 20 plus.
We talk about their offensive productivity, but something that Coach Mike Wells would be really happy with is their defense. They've really defended the ball, they've packed the paint. We spoke about earlier, they've made Southeast take tough, almost ugly 3-point shots. So full credit to Mike Wells and the Adelaide 36ers as Glover can't get that one to go. They're really locked down, and he's tested his plays and they've responded, Joey.
It's been a tough start to the year for Angus Glover as well. 12 minutes, that's his 2nd field goal And we know how impactful he can be, but again, I think this just comes really outside of Matt Hurt, the role clarity. Matt Hurt knows right now that he's probably their leading guy, so everybody else is just trying to figure out when is their time to go.
And now the bench all do come on for South East Melbourne. They get trapped. Davis does well. Vasiljevic wants the ball. He started in red-hot form, and he was able to get Humphries involved. He's been able to seal it as Davis with a nice feed to the big man who's left a couple of points out there. A few misses under the basket. And again, great defence from Adelaide, playing right to the final whistle.
Yeah, Mike Wells saying, don't shoot it. You've lost a couple of games. You need to put the points on the board. The points matter in the NBL.
Now the 36ers, they will get their first win of the season. The call from Mike Kelly was don't foul. And it's Harold who's going to ice this one tonight.
If you're just tuning into the first time for the NBL, you're wondering what's going on with the game. Sewn up. These points matter. When it comes down to the end of the season, a single bucket can be the difference between you finishing in the finals or going on an early holiday to Bali.
I thought you were about to say that they haven't scored 100. I thought you were just as shocked.
That too.
Another double-double for Montrezl Harrell tonight. He's got the 13 points, 6 of 12 from the field, 12 rebounds, a couple of block shots, a couple of big dunks. And he continues to deliver. There's Jarrell Martin. He'll be back at some stage.
Mike Wells and the Adelaide 36ers have worked out some good combinations now. This is what Mike Kelly now has to go back and do. They've got to work out what combinations are going to work, what's the best fit, how do we get guys into the best place to be productive, to be offensively productive.
Explain why they've called a timeout, Tangerine timeout with 3 seconds to go, down by 12.
Well, one-handed situation, all right? So say that this is a one-point game in the future and we've got 3 seconds down one end. We've got to advance it. What play can we draw up? Can we execute after a timeout? And the other side of it is probably, hey, you want to score when the game's sewn up? Enjoy this little break.
And the basketball continues all weekend. Doubleheader Friday and then a doubleheader Saturday. And it's going to be a cracking contest. Illawarra Hawks hosting the Adelaide 36ers, who will now head to the Wynn Entertainment Centre with some confidence from tonight's performance, and then the Bullets and the Sydney Kings. And then, of course, Sunday, it continues. Melbourne United will take on the Cairns Taipans. And you mentioned earlier, Pete, the Cairns Taipans have the wood over Melbourne United in recent years.
They have in recent years. Coming in hot for that game, but they've got to take care of business first against Perth, and then a semi-finals rematch down in Tassie, heading down to Tassie.
That's going to be loud. That's going to be loud and packed at My State Bank Arena. That's 4:30 Sunday. So make sure you catch all the action. And a terrific start to this Hungry Jacks NBL season 25.
See if they make this timeout worth it with it executing.
And that was the play they drew up, and that's how it finishes to make it an even 10-point win to the Adelaide 36ers. In front of their home fans, that man Mike Wells gets his first win. And he'll be pleased with what he's seen.
I totally get it.
Great. So we'll get straight down to John Casey, who has the Foot Locker player of the game with him.
Foot Locker player of the game, well played, DJ, but you're probably more impressed getting the win, huh?
Man, we needed it. We need the monkey off the back. We got it done. Yeah, now we've got to go to Illawarra and back it up.
And just one word on Isaac Humphrey getting back to form tonight, how important that was?
About damn time. About time.
Congratulations on the win. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Casey.
DJ Vasiljevic, his 3rd straight game, 20-plus points, Foot Locker player of the game. We'll be back right after this with Alice Kunek and Pete Hooley to wrap it up here from the Adelaide Entertainment Centre.
Both teams looking for their first win of the season. We were challenged, especially in that second half, but the resilience shone through. So is it just a matter of the team finding their balance and just getting momentum into this first half of the season?
We just gotta keep playing, man. We've been in all the games that we've been in. We had a chance to win, so it's about doing the work and sometimes we win the game. And we play the full 40 in the game today.
Just finally, these fans, almost 10,000 here tonight. I mean, they just want to see showtime. How much energy do these fans give you and how much more do you want from them?
There is everything tonight, man. I think they have to deliver a treatment. We're treating them better for the game, so it's all over the place. They have their energy and I think they will see it again in the next game.
A great win tonight. You get to meet some of the fans. I'll get you to sign this and throw it out to one of the supporters as well. Thank you very much to Ace and Transport Solutions. The 36ers get the win. Give it up for Montrezl Harrell. Welcome him to Adelaide and the whole team get the W. Don't forget next Friday night we're here as well. Thanks, Trent. We are back here on Friday night against the Sydney Kings, which is going to be equally as massive.
Well, the Adelaide 36ers are at home for the first time this season and they didn't disappoint the fans that turned out. Montrezl Harrell in the thick of it again, 14 points, 12 rebounds, but all the stars were there. They came to play. DJ Vasiljevic, Isaac Humphries, Kendrick Davis, they all put together a terrific performance that led to, in the end, a pretty comprehensive win. They set it up in the first quarter. Pete Hooley, Alice Kunik, and really they were never challenged.
Yeah, they put it away in the first quarter. Credit the Phoenix, they looked up in the second half, but there were a lot more questions than answers for South East Melbourne. For Adelaide, they looked very good. They changed the starting lineup and things started to click.
And Alice, it was Isaac Humphries that everyone was talking about. Can they get him the ball? How can they get him involved in this offence? They got it to him early and he didn't disappoint. 22 points, 10 of 15 shooting. He was involved in everything.
He was, Joey, and he was super impressive. We know how good Isaac Humphries is. He does all those little works, he cleans up those cheap points, he's in the right position all the time. They just were able to get him the ball, and look how effective he was. Full credit to Kendrick Davis. 21 points, 7 assists, 4 steals, 20 plus 25 on the efficiency. He was great tonight as well, but full credit to Isaac Humphries. He played a great game, and that's what Adelaide needed to do.
He certainly was. He delivered, the big fella, along with Montrezl Harrell, who came into the starting lineup and really, as I said, they led by 9 points at quarter time and they were never really headed. Now they have to play again, I should say, Saturday against Illawarra, which is going to be a tough ask. But there's going to be a cracking game of basketball tomorrow night because the games tomorrow, they're going to be the Cairns Taipans taking on the Tas Jumpers. That's going to be a beauty. We know how hard Cairns are to beat at home. And then, of course, Perth and Melbourne, the two big dogs in town. It's going to be a wonderful night of basketball.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I'll be calling the first game, Cairns versus Tassie, but then Perth and Melbourne, and try and get home quickly so I can watch that because there's always something extra in that. Fireworks, it could be a CG 40 piece, a Bryce 50 piece. We'll find out.
And you feel there'll be a lot of talk about South East Melbourne to come out of this game. They've got a 9-day break to figure out what's gone wrong before they host the Brisbane Bullets. But it was the Adelaide 36ers, the big winners. Thanks for your company. Hope you enjoyed the night. We certainly did. Adelaide by 10 points.
This programme is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.